Okay, I'm just off the back of having Double Panda Tiramisu Imperial Stout, 10%. Really fantastic beer. Has no lactose in it. Comes from Brew Brewery in Trim, County Meath. And I gave Lactose a bit of a hard time and pastry stouts in general. So here is a beer that I kept from Christmas time from Rascals Brewery. It is a chocolate salted caramel stout. I haven't checked, but I expect it has lactose in it. Let's give it a go and let's give lactose a fair shout. The Candyman up next. Hey, welcome back to Views on Brews. I am Brendan and this is the Candyman. And before I open this beer, I'm just going to check that it does have lactose in the beer. Where are the ingredients in this thing? Brewed at Rascals. Here we go. Ingredients: water, barley, hops, yeast, lactose, chocolate, caramel, and salt. Sounds pretty darn good, I have to admit. I like anything that has salt, chocolate and caramel together in it. That sounds nice. So maybe in this style of beer, maybe, you know, this pastry stout thing that I seem to be, you know, I've had a little bit too much of the sweetness, I'll say, from lactose. You know, and the marshmallow thing and the vanilla thing. But maybe this is the beer to turn it all around for me. It's 5.5%. Rascals Brewing Company in Dublin. They've got a fantastic on-site sort of tap room that does great pizzas in the heart of Dublin. You can go and sit down there and see the brewery in action. Fantastic brewery. They make a lot of beer that does have lactose in it. They're quite good with the strawberry milkshake IPAs, that kind of beer. Let's see what they've done with this one. They are part, I can see, on the side of the Independent Irish Craft Beer Brewers Association. I'm not sure. It's the ICBI, I think it is, but it's on the back. I'll stick a logo up on the screen. That's just to designate them as an authentic, genuine craft beer brewery. They're probably at the stage now where they're making a heck of a lot of beer. Straight away, though, when I pour this can, like as I'm talking and I'm bringing it towards me, you'll get, you know, that unmistakable sort of, you know, smoky Madagascar vanilla creaminess comes wafting along, you know, and any beer that has lactose in it, you don't need to be a genius. You know it's in there straight away. It is an adjunct kind of idea. It's milk powder. It's added into beer to give it that sweet creaminess, that thick velvety. It's unfermentable, is part of the brewing process. So, you know, brewers add this into the beer. It can't be fermented out, and therefore you get all of that sweetness come through in the end beer. So let's just talk about this before I quickly have a go here. The can design looks absolutely fantastic. The Candyman chocolate salted caramel stout says on the front. On the back it says exquisite dark chocolate and Moorish salted caramel flavors. Now, I love the can, love the label, love the wrap, and love the brewery, in fairness. Let's have a look at what we've got here. It's brown to black. It's, you know, it's virgin on jet black, but there's twinges of brown going on in here. The head of the beer is, yeah, the head is like there, but it's, you know, it's not thick and heavy. There's a bit of carbonation when I rock it. But on the nose, it is just full on a salt of lactose. Let's give it another smell. So, you know, you can talk yourself into ideas of chocolate because it says chocolate on here. But really, on the nose, it's just full on lactose. Is there anything else? Let me just give it another pour. I just want to be as fair as I can to lactose because I really did knock it in my last review, even though the beer that I had in my last review was Double Panda and it has no lactose. My theory is that you can make a great beer without lactose, but of course, you know, there are styles that it's really good in. Pastry stouts, milkshake IPAs. and of course milk stout, which is what it was originally in. It's all that sweetness, you know, all that sweet, creamy, vanilla, sugary. You know, it does say dark chocolate, so I believe that I'm going to get the dark chocolate on the taste rather than the aroma. Let's give it a go. That's all I get on the nose so far. Cheers, Slancher. It's a 5.5% beer, so I ought to recognize the fact that it's not really high in ABV, and the body shows that. Even though the lactose is supposed to add a bit of body, had a bit of thick creaminess going on, the body is like medium light. Now, the flavors. Just go one more time. Yeah, so the beer is in that category where I said about this before, of it being a fun beer. They've obviously made a really fun, you know, enjoyable kind of like, you know, experimental beer. It's a fun label. You know, I feel like beers that have lactose in it have a certain amount of you know, playfulness to them. You know, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel. We're not trying to create a brand new style of beer. We're just, you know, just playing with what ingredients are available. Some people's palate is going to really enjoy this kind of beer because it's very specific in its flavor profile. So, you know, in the same way you might hate a Goza or you might love a Russian Imperial Stout, you may love a pastry stout, you may love an East Coast IPA in preference to a bitter West Coast IPA. Well, I'm not a huge fan of pastry stouts, and as I'm drinking this, it's kind of being confirmed to me that it's just not a thing for me. However, you might like this. It has a bit of caramel going on it. There is kind of a, when you have salt of any description, there's salt in it. Yeah, salt is in it. When you have salt in a beer, you may not, in the same way actually as a Goza, you may not taste the salt, but it accentuates things on the palate, and it has like a drop off. The sodium levels are a bit richer, so your taste buds, the amylase and the saliva, it all comes alive, so you taste things like a little bit stronger. And in this beer, I can't taste salt, but I can taste that there's something slightly different about it. And that must be the salt. It's kind of accentuated my taste buds exactly as I was thinking. You know, I'm not a huge fan of this beer per se, but I can see why other people would love it. There is chocolate in it. It is sweet. Maybe if I was in a bar and I wanted to mix up the, you know, the beer selection, had a couple of IPAs, let's go for something different. How about a pastry stout? That way it might work for me. In terms of it being a stout, there is a twinge of restrained roastiness in the back, but it's almost secondary to the rest of the profile of this beer. Yeah, there's a saltiness. It definitely has a finish, and there is caramel in here, and there is chocolate in here, but the chocolate doesn't present in the same way it would do in a Russian Imperial Stout, where you get that rich, fruity, high tones of the chocolate. In here, it's kind of like, you know, you're having a bit of a dessert, and there's a bit of a chocolatey edge to it. So that's the way I put that. Keep looking at the front of the can. Hold on. It's a nice beer. It's a nice beer. I'm just not a fan of the style. You may love this beer. That's all I'm going to say, but that's my view on this brew. Go out and try your pastry stouts. Go out and try Rascal's beer. Definitely go to Rascal's Brewery and try their beers on tap with a pizza from their oven, which is absolutely fantastic. Sit down there, have a look at the brewery, check it out. A great way to spend the summer evening if they're open back up in the summer. Anyway, cheers, Sláinte. It's on to the next one. Bye-bye.